Hello and welcome. I'm Danette Kubanda, and joining me today for a very special Zoom interview is Patrick Sanaghan. He is an organizational consultant who works in the higher education space, and he's been a productive procrastinator all his life. He's discovered dozens of strategies that procrastinators can use to get things done and quit avoiding difficult tasks. He's also the author of How to Be a Better Procrastinator, over 100 strategies to help you manage your procrastination habit. Thank you so much for being with us, Patrick.
Thanks, Danette. I'm glad to be here.
So, Patrick, how many people does procrastination affect?
The research tells us that chronic procrastinators, everyone procrastinates about something, but chronic procrastinators, where it's a lifestyle, is somewhere between 20 and 25% of the adult population. That's tens of millions of people. So there's a good chance you're either related to or work with someone who's a chronic procrastinator. It impacts a lot of people's lives.
And how does procrastination work?
Well, usually it's kind of a very simple but very deceptive little habit that is created. Usually there's a task that you want to do. For me, it's income taxes, right, or detail work. I just hate it. Could be cleaning your garage for some people. It could be finishing an invoice report for other people. But it's a task that you have to do, and you don't like to do it. And your emotions of anxiety, stress, aggravation, overwhelm, whatever, very negative emotions are very intense. They come up very quickly. And to step away from the task, what happens is the emotions drop immediately. You just feel, relief. And that's what keeps it going. Intense emotions, and now I have relief. I still have to do the task. Intellectually, I understand that, but my emotions, I feel a lot better.
What are some of the myths surrounding procrastination?
There's a couple that really are really misdirections. One is that the procrastinators are lazy people. It's absolutely not true. Many of them are very hardworking. I consider myself a very hardworking individual and very successful people. So they're not lazy. It's not a lazy habit at all. A myth that a lot of procrastinators do have is that they have to feel motivated before they can do something that's pretty onerous. And I'm never going to feel like doing my income taxes, I can assure you. But what we do know from the research is that an action of 15 or 20 minutes towards the task can create momentum, right? And then that's what creates the motivation to succeed and move forward, not motivation and then action. So that's a myth that procrastinators really have to address very, very quickly. And then the third strategy is this notion around willpower. And willpower is not an unlimited resource. It's a very limited resource. It's like a little pail of willpower that every person has, and it gets tired with use. And so you need to use it very strategically, and usually that's at the beginning of a task, which is the part that most procrastinators wrestle with at the start. So use a strategy and use your willpower to kind of punch through the first 15 minutes. There's a good chance you'll continue. Or at the end of a task that you don't like, that's where I have to use my willpower. I'm usually good at the beginning and the middle, but the last mile is the hardest for me. So I use my willpower, which is very limited, very strategically at the end, along with some of the strategies that I've learned that are helpful.
And speaking of those strategies, do you care to share a few with us?
Yes, there's three that I really like. There's a lot of them in the book. First one would be is rewards work. And one of the things that the adults get mixed up about a little bit is somehow they're supposed to be more mature than they shouldn't have to use rewards or need rewards. It's silly thinking, and it keeps the procrastination habit alive and well. The research is pervasive about the effectiveness of rewards. So if a reward is a glass of wine, a walk with a friend, a meal with a friend, watching a movie, whatever it is, if you have rewards set up after these tasks, you'll be motivated to move them forward. In fact, oftentimes the anticipation of the reward is as strong as the reward itself. So rewards absolutely work. The second one I would share with you is make your progress visible. However you can do that. A check mark on a calendar, crossing out a to-do list in dramatic ways. I use Post-its on my wall. I have 5 hours of work a day that's pretty intense. I do other things at the end of the day in 30-minute segments, and I take 10-minute breaks in between. It's very important for procrastinators to take breaks and not try to punch through 3 and 4 hours. And after 30 minutes, my smartphone goes ding. I stand up across the room where I have my Post-its on the wall, and I crinkle up a Post-it and throw it in the trash. Just getting up and crinkling that piece of paper, it's like you hit a home run or you hit a great tennis shot. It's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And I can see the Post-its getting less and less throughout the day, and it just keeps me going. It's really positive. And the last one is temptation bundling. And that's a pretty complex little thing, but it's when you marry a positive thing with something that's kind of negative for you. So if you have to clean the garage, which you don't want to do, you listen to the sports station. You have to do some ironing, like 3 buckets of ironing or baskets of ironing, you watch TV while you do it. So you marry something positive. You have to work out athletically every day. You don't want to really do it, don't feel like it. Play some nice music that you really like, your favorite music, and oftentimes that can kind of move you forward. So those 3 strategies there are home runs and very practical and easy to do.
And I love the tangible idea of like physically touching that Post-it and crinkling it up.
Oh, it's a wonderful feeling.
I could see how that would be so satisfying.
I had a colleague of mine showed me that about 20 years ago, and he would stand up and go all the way across, and he said, "Oh, Pat, this feels like I just won a gold medal." Crinkle it up and you rip it up, and I said, "That works for you?" He says, "Absolutely, you should try it," and it absolutely works.
Oh, this is such great information. Thank you for sharing all of this. To learn more about Patrick, his book, How to Be a Better Procrastinator, as well as all of his other projects, please visit his website at thesanahangroup.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Danette. This is wonderful. Appreciate it.